The world of women's basketball has changed forever, and one name is at the center of it all: Caitlin Clark. From the moment she stepped onto the WNBA stage, the entire league felt her presence. Her incredible shooting range, fearless confidence, and record-breaking performances have turned her into a once-in-a-generation superstar. But Caitlin Clark's impact isn't just about basketball, it's about revolutionizing the sport. The Indiana Fever, a team that struggled for attention in the past, is now the most watched franchise in the WNBA. Fans are filling arenas, TV ratings are smashing records, and every game she plays feels like an event. Whether you love her or love to hate her, you can't ignore her. So what makes Caitlin Clark so special? Is she just another hyped-up rookie, or is she truly rewriting history? Let's break down how she's turning the WNBA upside down and making women's basketball bigger than ever before. A year ago, if you asked a casual basketball fan to name a WNBA team, most wouldn't have mentioned the Indiana Fever. That all changed the moment Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court. In just a few months, she has transformed a struggling franchise into the most talked-about team in the league. Clark's arrival turned every Fever game into a must-watch event. Fans pack arenas just to see her play. Opposing teams are upgrading to NBA-sized venues to accommodate the demand. Even those who don't follow women's basketball are suddenly paying attention. The Fever isn't just a team anymore, they're a national sensation. Turn on ESPN, scroll through social media, or check any sports news site. Caitlin Clark is everywhere. Reporters dissect her every move, analysts debate her impact, and fans flood the internet with highlights and opinions. Why the obsession? It's simple. Clark is a ratings magnet. Networks are prioritizing her games over even the league's biggest matchups. She's bringing record-breaking viewership to the WNBA, and media outlets can't afford to ignore her. Whether it's praise, criticism, or endless comparisons, everyone has something to say about Caitlin Clark. With fame comes controversy, and Clark is as polarizing as she is popular. Some fans see her as the future of women's basketball, an unstoppable shooter and a once-in-a-lifetime talent. Others believe she's overhyped, arguing that other WNBA stars deserve just as much attention. But here's the thing: love her or hate her, you can't ignore her. Every arena she enters is filled with fans cheering or booing, but all of them are watching. Even her biggest critics admit that she's changing the game. The Indiana Fever, once overlooked, is now at the center of every basketball conversation. This isn't just about a rookie making waves. This is about a player who is reshaping the WNBA itself. Caitlin Clark isn't just making headlines, she's completely transforming the WNBA. Since her arrival, the league has experienced an unprecedented surge in attendance, TV ratings, and national coverage. The numbers are staggering, proving that Clark is not just another rookie, she's a once-in-a-generation player redefining the sport. Attendance at WNBA games has skyrocketed by an incredible 48% since Clark made her debut. Indiana Fever home games are selling out at a record pace, with ticket prices tripling as fans scramble for a chance to see her play live. But it's not just in Indiana. Every arena she steps into is packed. Teams that once struggled to fill seats are now moving their games to larger NBA-sized venues just to accommodate the overwhelming demand. On television, the impact is just as powerful. Before Clark, WNBA games typically drew between 400,000 to 500,000 viewers. Now, Indiana Fever games are averaging a massive 1.2 million viewers per game. That's not just a boost, it's a revolution. Some of these games have even outperformed NBA playoff matchups in key demographics, proving that Clark isn't just growing the WNBA, she's bringing in a whole new audience. The national attention on the Fever is unprecedented. Out of 44 regular season games, 41 are being nationally televised, making the Indiana Fever the most-watched team in WNBA history. Networks are prioritizing Clark's games over those of defending champions, shifting their schedules to ensure her matchups get primetime slots. Simply put, Caitlin Clark is must-see TV, and the world can't get enough of her. Being called the future of women's basketball isn't just a compliment, it's a massive weight to carry. And yet, Caitlin Clark has embraced it with confidence, proving that she's not just hype, she's history in the making. From her very first game in the WNBA, the expectations were sky high. Fans, analysts, and even rival players wanted to see if she could replicate her college dominance at the professional level. And she didn't just meet those expectations, she shattered them. Clark's transition from college to the WNBA has been nothing short of extraordinary. At Iowa, she was a record-breaking sensation, lighting up scoreboards and redefining what was possible in women's basketball. Many wondered if she could bring that same magic to the pros, but it didn't take long for her to answer. With her signature deep three-pointers, pinpoint passing, and fearless mentality, she has quickly become the face of the league. Her rookie season is already rewriting the history books. She's setting records for points, assists, and viewership, proving that her talent isn't just for college, it's built for the biggest stage. Very few players, even veterans, have had this kind of immediate impact. But Caitlin Clark is different. She's not just another star, she's a once-in-a-lifetime player changing the game in real time. Caitlin Clark's influence isn't just about her stats. It's about the way she's reshaping the entire basketball culture. Her presence alone has turned casual viewers into die-hard WNBA fans. Social media is flooded with highlights of her impossible shots, lightning-fast passes, and fearless attitude on the court. Every time she steps onto the floor, engagement skyrockets, with millions discussing her latest performance. Beyond the digital buzz, Clark's impact is visible in arenas nationwide. Young girls now show up wearing her jersey, chanting her name, and dreaming of playing just like her. The WNBA has always struggled to capture mainstream sports audiences, but Clark is breaking that barrier. Even NBA analysts and former players now regularly discuss her skills, proving that talent has no gender. Perhaps the most groundbreaking change is the new wave of fans she's bringing in. Traditionally, men's basketball has dominated media attention, but Clark is shifting that narrative. She's drawing in NBA fans who respect the craft of the game, making them realize that the WNBA offers elite-level competition. This isn't just a temporary hype. It's the start of a long-overdue transformation in how women's sports are viewed. Caitlin Clark isn't just a basketball star, she's an economic powerhouse. The moment she entered the WNBA, the league's financial landscape changed overnight. Ticket prices for Indiana Fever games have skyrocketed, sometimes tripling in value. Home or away, it doesn't matter. If Clark is playing, the arena is packed. Fans are willing to pay premium prices just to witness her magic on the court, and that demand is only growing. Her influence extends far beyond ticket sales. Major brands are lining up to sign endorsement deals with her, recognizing her as one of the most marketable athletes in the world. From sportswear giants to lifestyle brands, everyone wants a piece of the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. Her jersey sales alone have shattered records, outselling entire WNBA team rosters combined. But the biggest impact, the WNBA itself is seeing an unprecedented financial boom. More eyes on Clark means more eyes on the league, leading to increased sponsorship deals, higher TV ratings, and a level of media coverage that women's basketball has never seen before. For years, the WNBA struggled to turn a profit. But now, thanks to Clark, the league is experiencing its most lucrative era in history. She's not just playing the game, she's changing its entire business model. Caitlin Clark's rise to fame has been a game-changer for the WNBA, but not everyone is thrilled about it. Some of the league's veteran stars feel like her presence is casting a shadow over their years of hard work. They've been grinding, building their careers, and fighting for recognition, yet suddenly, one rookie is getting all the attention. It's easy to see why that might not sit well with them. Clark's games are nationally televised at a record-breaking rate. Her highlights dominate social media, and sponsorship deals seem to follow her everywhere. Meanwhile, other WNBA players, many of whom have been in the league for years, struggle to get the same level of exposure. Even MVP-caliber players have never seen this kind of media frenzy. It raises a big question. Is Caitlin Clark getting special treatment, or is she simply that good? The truth lies somewhere in between. There's no denying that Clark's arrival has changed the game. She's not just an exciting player, she's a ratings magnet. Viewership, ticket sales, and fan engagement have all skyrocketed since she entered the league. It's not just about basketball, it's about business. And right now, Caitlin Clark is the most valuable asset the WNBA has ever had. But being the face of the league comes with its own set of struggles. Every move she makes is analyzed, every mistake is amplified, and every interaction is put under a microscope. If she performs well, people say she's overhyped. If she has an off night, critics are quick to question if she was ever that good to begin with. The pressure she faces is unlike anything most rookies experience. She's not just expected to play great basketball, she's expected to elevate an entire league. It's a tough position to be in, and the controversy isn't going away anytime soon. Some will continue to say she's receiving unfair advantages, while others will argue she's exactly what the WNBA needed. But one thing is certain, whether you love her or hate her, you're watching. And in the world of sports, that's what matters the most. Caitlin Clark's rise to fame has been nothing short of a phenomenon, but not everyone is celebrating it. Some WNBA players have openly expressed frustration over the league's obsession with her. They believe the spotlight is unfairly tilted in her direction, leaving other talented athletes overshadowed. Critics argue that her media coverage is excessive, almost as if she's the only player in the league. Every headline, every highlight, and every major broadcast seems to revolve around her. But here's the flip side. Hasn't the WNBA been craving this kind of attention for years? Clark's presence is drawing millions of new eyes to the sport, generating record-breaking viewership and putting women's basketball in the mainstream conversation like never before. Without her, would the league be experiencing this level of growth? Whether you love her or think she's overhyped, one thing is clear. Caitlin Clark is reshaping the WNBA's future, and the league might not have gotten this kind of recognition without her. Caitlin Clark isn't just dominating on the court. She's fueling an economic boom that the WNBA has never seen before. Her impact goes far beyond basketball, turning every game into a high-demand event, shifting ticket sales, and redefining the league's financial landscape. Since Clark's arrival, WNBA home game attendance has surged by an astonishing 39%. Fans aren't just watching from home, they're flooding arenas, eager to see her play in person. The demand is so overwhelming that 6 teams have upgraded their venues to NBA-sized arenas, just to accommodate the massive crowds. Think about that. Teams are literally expanding their capacity just because of one player. It's unheard of in women's sports. And with ticket prices tripling whenever she steps on the court, the revenue pouring into the league is at an all-time high. But the Caitlin Clark effect doesn't stop there. Her jersey sales alone are outselling the entire WNBA combined. Every piece of merchandise with her name on it flies off the shelves, making her the most marketable athlete in the league. Whether it's jerseys, sneakers, or collectibles, anything associated with Clark is turning into a bestseller. Brands are lining up for endorsements, and her influence is stretching far beyond basketball, cementing her as a cultural icon. For years, the WNBA has struggled to capture mainstream attention. Now, thanks to Caitlin Clark, the league isn't just growing, it's booming. She's not just playing the game, she's changing the business of basketball. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, 2 of the biggest names in women's basketball, are constantly in the headlines. But is their rivalry real, or is it just media hype? Recently, Angel Reese made waves with comments that many believe were aimed directly at Caitlin Clark. Whether it was a subtle jab or just competitive energy, the internet went wild, fueling the already heated conversation about their so-called rivalry. From college to the WNBA, every time these 2 step on the court together, fans expect fireworks. The media has played a massive role in shaping this narrative, hyping up every stare down, every moment of trash talk, and every game they play against each other. But is there actually a personal feud? Or is this just the kind of competitive drama that sports thrive on? One thing is for sure, whenever Clark and Reese face off, people are watching. And whether they're true rivals or not, their matchups are turning into some of the most watched games in WNBA history. Caitlin Clark has taken the WNBA by storm, breaking records, selling out arenas, and becoming the face of women's basketball. But with all this attention comes debate. Will her dominance last, or is it just a moment of hype? Some say she's the future of the sport, while others believe the media is focusing on her too much. One thing is for sure, she's changed the game, and there's no going back. And then there's the rivalry, Clark versus Angel Reese. Fans can't stop debating who's the bigger star, who's more dominant, and who will have the better career. But is this rivalry real, or just media hype? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mind-blowing sports content. This is just the beginning of a new era in women's basketball, and you won't want to miss what happens next.